So it has been a couple months since the government introduced the online application portal for the spousal sponsorship in Canada. I know, finally, right? Rather than going through the tedious process of printing and then filling and then scanning and then printing again and then filing and then scanning, now all this can be avoided because all the forms are now only required to be filled and submitted online. Now the first question coming up in your mind must be, what is the processing times for the online applications? Does it take longer than the regular paper-based application? How long would the online applications take to fully finalize and all that? So let me tell you guys. This program has just been introduced by the government a couple months back, and the main reason behind it that I believe must be to speed up the processing of applications that has been stuck in a loop for more than a year, all because of this pandemic. Who can be blamed, right? So just to get over with this huge piles of applications every month, the government has introduced this new online plan where all the future applicants can create and submit their applications on the web without the need to mail out any paper-based documents. So I definitely think once this method of submission becomes the norm, the spousal applications will also start getting treated the same way any other online applications do. The main benefit of the online application is that it is more convenient and faster to fill out, and in terms of processing times, it will definitely be able to finalize the decision in around 6 months, if not 1 year, but no more than that. So my recommendation for all the future applicants, you should definitely go with the online method. As for the previous applicants who filled the paper-based application, just like me, you guys don't have to lose hope. The processing criteria has always been based on a first come and first served basis. So what I believe is that your applications will not be left in the middle just like that. Alright, now let's take a look at the actual Canadian website that talks about all the info. So this is where you can find the first information about the online spousal sponsorship application. So here they mentioned that they're testing a new online application for some permanent immigration programs. Not sure why they call it a test though. And when you scroll down, you can see the sponsoring a spouse, partner, dependent child, or other family is included in all these programs as well. So this is how you can assure yourself that the online thing that everybody has been talking about is genuine and legit. Now, without wasting any time, let's jump right in on how you can start the online application process for your spousal sponsorship in Canada. The first thing that you need to do is to go on this link that I've added in the description as well and start creating an account. You see, this is the permanent residence portal. So obviously spouses who are willing to apply for an open work permit for their spouses will not be able to do it at this portal because it strictly mentions only the permanent residency applications. If you guys already have an account created, then simply sign in and move on to the next step. But if you don't have an account created, then you need to scroll down and click on create an account. Please note that only Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Microsoft Edge, and Safari are the supported browsers for this portal. If you are using Internet Explorer, stop using it. Nobody uses it. And another thing that I would like to mention is that this portal account is absolutely separate and different than the regular IRCC secure account that you usually create for all your immigration purposes. This portal is only for the submission of online applications. So once you create yourself an account, you're sent a 6-digit verification code that you need to enter on the next page to complete your registration. Now you're good to go and move on to the next step. On the next page, you're informed about the whole process on how you should actually follow each and every step before submitting the application, that is finding out if you're eligible to apply under that program in the first place. And then how to complete all the forms and documents associated with your application before submission, as well as going through the program checklist you're applying under and all that stuff. And finally, the submission part where you send your electronic application over to the government for review and approval. So I recommend you all to follow all these steps first. Okay, now you need to scroll down on this page and click on Start New Application. For the ones who have already started or submitted their application, they can view it under this tab. Now here, the whole application process is divided into 4 simple yet detailed and comprehensive steps to follow. That is, complete your forms, upload your supporting documents, give it a final review, and finally submission. Now you scroll down and choose the type of program you're applying under. Since I'm only covering the spousal sponsorship topics in my videos for now, I will only focus on that specifically. Here you choose family, and then down here you choose spouse or common law or conjugal partner, whichever applies to your case. For those who don't know what a common law and a conjugal partner is, you can watch this video that I posted recently where you will have a much better understanding of their differences. Now under this section, you need to mention the class, and the 2 options that you get are the Inside Canada and the Outside Canada class, which I believe everybody can understand, but I'll still explain it. For the sponsors whose spouse is already living with them in Canada, you guys need to choose the In Canada class option, and the sponsors whose spouse is currently living outside Canada need to choose the Family class option. As simple as that. My wife is already with me now, but since I applied for an outland sponsorship application, I will choose the family class option. After that, underneath, even though it's totally optional, you can mention the type of application you're applying or any other info that you think will be relevant. So here I will input spousal sponsorship outland. Now we hit continue. A message would pop up that the application has been successfully started. Now again, they mention the principal steps that you can do before proceeding with your application. That is determining your eligibility, reviewing the application guide, which is the IMM 5289. The link is in the description, and following the document checklist. After that, once you're comfortable and sure that you got all the info you need to proceed with the application, you can move on to the next steps. And don't worry, these guides will still be available to you along the way, so you can look at them anytime. Or even a better option would be to just open them up in a separate window and bookmarking them so you can get back to it anytime. This way you will not need to interfere with your application. Okay, now we go down and it says here that you will not need to fill out every form on this page. Make sure you're only filling out forms that are needed for your program. Now this is where the pages that you bookmarked come in handy. Simply go to the application guide, scroll down and then click on step 3, fill out the forms. This will take you straight to the information where all the related forms are mentioned. Now, if you have been a part of my channel from the beginning, spousal sponsorship in Canada is all that I have been posting videos about. And one of my videos specifically covered each and every form in as much detail as possible without taking too much of your time. So to get help in filling out these forms, you can check out this video up here. And please note, the forms covered in both the paper-based and the online application is absolutely the same. No difference in that. But at the same time, I would always recommend you to access the latest forms only from this government-regulated website, nowhere else. They always make some very minute changes in the application forms, so make sure you're not missing out on that. These are the forms that you will need if you're only sponsoring your spouse. However, if you're also sponsoring a dependent in your application, then you need to include these forms as well, along with the ones I just mentioned. So you need to come back to your application page and look out for only the forms that you need to fill out. Now you may notice that a couple of these forms have a start button right next to them, and most of them have the upload button besides them. So what this means is that the start button forms need not to be printed out. Instead, they can just be filled online. Take this first one for example, the IMM 0008, which we have to fill out. So you see, what I like the most about this online portal is that it gives you a brief information about the forms. See this info here? And another very good thing about this is that you don't need to fill everything up in just one sitting. You get the option to simply save your progress and get back to it whenever suits you simply by clicking on View My Application. So rest assured, none of the forms that you already worked on goes missing. And the forms that have upload button right next to them, for these you will have to first download the forms by clicking on this option right here. Make sure you have the latest Adobe Reader version on your PC or laptop because it won't open up on any other PDF opener. Unless you're a hacker and know the loopholes. And please note, these forms will only need to be filled up online via the Adobe Reader, so no paper printing is required here as well. I love the simple steps being taken for our planet Earth. Once completed, you're required to save them on your computer and then upload it. Also be advised that these forms have a validate button at the end, which is very important. You see, as mentioned here, validation reduces mistakes and helps you submit a form that is complete. You see, when you click on the validate button, any missing information is identified by a pop-up error message or a red square around the fields that need to be completed. And after that, a barcode is created which looks like this. So make sure you're not missing this because avoiding this will have some very serious repercussions. And here you'll see an example of how the barcode once generated will look like. After that, once all your forms have been uploaded, you'll have to scroll down a little bit and you will see an upload for the supporting documentation, which is this one. Now, as mentioned, this is where you'll be submitting all the documentations to support your relationship. For example, your photos, your marriage certificate, your police certificate, any translations, and pretty much everything that goes along under your category. And I'll emphasize on it once again. Make sure you're only submitting documents for the category you're applying under. So either it is family class for a principal applicant outside Canada or the spouse in Canada class. Both will need to follow the IMM 5289, for which I've added a link in the description. Now, one more thing. Before you start uploading all your supporting documentation, just give a quick read to this whole paragraph that talks about some things to be kept in mind. But since you're already watching this video, I will summarize it for you. First, the correct format to label your documents will be your last name, dash your first name, dash document type, dash number in order if there are more than one. Second, make sure all your documents are labeled properly, especially mentioning the name of the person it is for. Third, the passport size photos that the principal applicant will upload. Only one photo must have the date of the photo, name and date of birth of the applicant, along with the complete name and address of the studio where the photo was taken, either handwritten or with a stamp. You can visit this guide here for detailed specifications for the passport size photo. Fourth, only these formats will be accepted for a successful upload. Fifth, this should be the maximum file size and this should be the minimum photo pixels. To have even a much better understanding of the whole package required under the spousal sponsorship in Canada, you can watch this video up here that have already helped a lot of hopeful applicants so far, which is based on my successful experience of bringing my wife over in Canada. So once all your forms and documents have been uploaded, you will need to scroll down a bit and upload your proof of payment right here. To get that proof, you will need to go at this link and choose either of these two options. I'll choose this first one to make sure I'm not paying fees for the wrong program. So here I'll choose a sponsored family member. If I click on what's this, you can see that it covers the spouses. Next, they ask, who are you sponsoring? I'll click on spouse and continue. Now they ask, do you want to pay the right of permanent residence fees now or later? I'd always recommend you to pay it beforehand because it definitely saves you a lot of processing delay time and because the website also suggests the same. Then choose if your spouse is with you in Canada or outside. After that, info about dependent children. Now this biometric part. Here you only choose no if you're exempt from biometrics. If not, then click yes. After that, this page opens up where you pay the fees with a valid credit or debit card, and once done, you will need to click on the button that will successfully print the IRCC official receipt with the barcode. This receipt is what you need to upload right here. After that, you need to scroll down and fill out the consent and declaration form. So here you answer yes to both, and if you want, you can give this a read as well. And at the end, the principal applicant or the person who is being sponsored by the sponsor will enter their full name as it appears on their passport. This will be considered an official confirmation from your side. After that, complete and return the application. And that's it, your spousal application file is good to be submitted, but don't just submit it just like that. Do a thorough review of each and everything in your application and be careful of some important things that I talked about in this video. Once you're confident enough that everything is good to go, click on this submit button and voila, keep those beautiful fingers of yours crossed and hope for the best. So that was all for the online process of the spousal sponsorship application in Canada. If you like my content and if you'd like to watch more of these helpful videos, then please don't forget to give this video a like and hit the subscribe button right there that keeps calling out for you. I have been specifically posting videos about the spousal sponsorship to help you all out. So if you guys got any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. I will definitely get back to you all. Till next time, stay safe and keep watching Canadian Desi.